Hello, everyone. My name is the Traveling Sports Nerd, and tonight we're doing something a little bit different here. I was hoping to be playing some NHL 25 tonight, uh, but unfortunately, my internet was not working on the PlayStation tonight. So we're going to go in a little bit of a different direction tonight. We're kind of just, you know, going freeform tonight. It's going to be a little bit different. Probably not as long tonight. I wouldn't guess as long of a stream. Maybe 30 minutes to an hour tonight. I would guess. We'll see how this format goes. Um, but yeah, so just some things that I want to fill you guys in on. The reason that I haven't posted anything for the past week or so, I actually got the flu this past week. So Sunday afternoon going into work, I just thought I had a regular old cough. I've got sleep apnea, so it's not abnormal for me to have a sore throat or a cough. So I was thinking like, yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. And then I just started to crash at work. I wasn't feeling well at all on Sunday. And I've pretty much been cooped up in the house for almost a week now. Even though lots of time in the house, didn't really get to any content creating or video producing this week. So I still do have one more sports vlog to get up and posted that I do hope that I will have posted this upcoming Wednesday. That one will be of the Michigan men's basketball team with a pretty unfortunate result against the rival Michigan State Spartans. But thankfully, things went much better for me today as a fan, at least as a Michigan fan. But yeah, I'll be sharing that video hopefully this coming Wednesday. And yeah, I hope that this week we'll get a little bit back into the rhythm of posting. If you hear me cough or have to blow my nose or anything, I'm definitely not 100% healthy again yet. And that kind of leads me into the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be going to the PWHL game tomorrow that is happening in downtown Detroit. I was really looking forward to that. That was something that I really wanted to attend. I didn't get to go last year because I was working, and I was just really looking forward to this because I want to support women's sports when I can. I think that it is often a ton of fun. I mean, my by far highest viewed video on this channel is my video of attending an Indiana Fever game, and it. So I'm all about supporting women's sports, and really bummed that I'm not going to be able to be there in person tomorrow and get it up on the vlog. My hope, I sincerely hope, and I don't think it's out of the realm to have wishes of what I'm going to say here. My hope is that tomorrow they announce at the PWHL takeover game in Detroit. This is going to be a neutral site professional women's hockey league game. I'm hoping that they will announce that Detroit is getting an expansion team. Now, I don't have any insider knowledge or anything. All I know is that rumors have speculated that Detroit is a front runner to be one of the first expansion cities in the PWHL. And to me, it just makes too much sense for them to announce it at a PWHL game in Detroit. So I'm really hoping that gets announced tomorrow night during the game. And if that happens and we're getting a team in Detroit next year, then I can guarantee you that next season I'll have a PWHL vlog up on the channel. If that doesn't happen, I would like to try and hit a PWHL game at some point. So whether that's another takeover in Detroit or potentially hitting the road next season to one of the 6 locales that currently have a team. Either way, I would love to make it happen. So I'm sorry to anyone who may have seen me talk about it on Twitter that I really was excited to go to this game tomorrow. But unfortunately, Mother Nature had different plans up her sleeve as still battling this flu here. If I cough at all, you'll hear it. It's not the prettiest cough. So yeah, still getting over that. And yeah, so I'm bummed that the NHL 25 didn't work out. But so that was to get into things here. That was my backup plan was, since I'm not going to the PWHL game, I'll play as the PWHL teams on NHL 25. Like I said, that didn't work out with the internet. So instead, I'm just going to have a little bit of a general discussion here. I'm going to talk about what I know about the PWHL. And I don't know a whole lot, I'll admit. I'm definitely a noob when it comes to this. But I'll tell you about what I know. I'll try and share my screen here. Now, this is the first time that I've really ever done a stream like this where it's not like on the PlayStation. So all this is a little bit new to me. So I don't think anybody's watching live right now. So if anything, that's totally okay with me. We're just, we're going to have some fun with it here. So let's see here. So let's, I don't have anybody watching right now. I just want to make sure that I am live to the public. I'm curious if that is a thing. So I'm checking that right now. I hope anybody who may potentially come across this is having a good day today. Let's see here. I'm checking out YouTube on my phone here, going to my separate account. And yeah, looks like I'm able to be seen live. No, now it feels like I'm in Inception because I can see myself on my phone. Look at this. I'm breaking the internet here. Ooh. See, there's that cough I was talking about. All right, so let's get right to it here of first talking about what I know. So obviously I know that there are 6 teams in the PWHL, and they're in their second season of play. Last season, it was still the same 6 teams, but none of the teams had team nicknames yet. So, obviously all of your big 4 teams, save for, Utah Hockey Club right now, they have a nickname, right? So if we're talking the Detroit teams, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions, Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Pistons, look at my hat right now, New York Mets, right? So for the PWHL, this first season, they said, we're not going to have any nicknames. No nicknames. We're just going to have teams that are identified by their city or state or provincial locale. So in that case, we'll see if I can get them off memory. I feel like I can right now. So you got teams in Minnesota, Ottawa, Toronto, New York. That's 4 of them. Boston. I say Montreal. Shoot. Now I'm going to twist myself up here. Let me get it again. So Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Boston, New York, Minnesota. Yeah, that's 6. So you got teams in those 6 locations, and they were just Team Minnesota, Team Boston, Team Montreal. They all had like the same sort of word mark on their jerseys, just a diagonal on the jersey. And then after that first season, I think that they were doing that as sort of a way to give themselves a little bit more time to create brands for all the teams. And then everybody announced their nickname for this coming season. So now you have got, let's see if I can name them off memory here. You got the Boston Fleet, New York Sirens, Minnesota Frost, Ottawa Charge, Toronto Scepters, and who's the last one here? Montreal Victory, I believe. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last one right. It's spelled in like a French way. I think it's pronounced Montreal Victory. I haven't watched any games this season yet. I did watch a few games last season. I remember watching, I want to say it was game 4 of the PWHL finals last year between Minnesota and Boston. And it was really intense hockey. It went to overtime, sudden death overtime, where Minnesota could have clinched the championship had they scored the next goal. And it was crazy because they did score, but the goal ended up being ruled off for, I want to say, offsides or something like that. I don't remember exactly why, but they called off the goal and they bring it back. And then Boston scores on the road to send the series back for a decisive game 5. It was a best of 5 series. Crazy to watch. I was rooting for Minnesota in that moment just because I've always enjoyed Minnesota as a state. And I also enjoy seeing a team win on home ice for a championship if I don't have any lean one way or the other. So a little bit bummed when that happened, but Minnesota did end up winning the championship in the end back in Boston. One of the other things I know about the league is that you've got a little bit of variance in terms of where the teams are playing their home games at. So only 2 teams in this league are playing their games at an NHL arena counterpart. That would be Minnesota and New York. So the Minnesota Frost, they are playing at XL Energy Center, home of the Wild in the NHL. And then the New York Sirens, this is a little bit funny. They are playing at Prudential Center in New Jersey, home of the New Jersey Devils. So for any of you who are not necessarily geography nerds and are not from, anywhere near New York Metro, the New Jersey Devils NHL team, and then the New York Sirens, of course, that's part of the New York metropolitan area. Like the New Jersey Devils, if there was no traffic involved, which is hilarious to imagine if we were talking about the New York Metro. But, if traffic wasn't an issue, you're probably talking about like a 20, maybe 30-minute drive between the home of the Devils and the home of the New York Rangers. They're only probably like 10, 15 miles away from each other as the crow flies. So this is a situation similar to like the New York Giants, New York Jets, New York Red Bulls of soccer, where they are playing over in New Jersey despite still carrying that New York name. So yes, even though the Sirens are playing where the New Jersey Devils play, they are playing as the New York Sirens. They've got that, New York Metro brand associated with them. So yeah, New York and Minnesota are the only 2 teams in the PWHL that they are both playing their home games pretty much full time at an NHL arena. The other 4 teams are playing in minor league arenas instead, sometimes located a little bit outside of city limits. This is where we're going to see if I can learn how to share my screen with all of you. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see here. We're going to try this. So let's look up the PWHL. Okay. So should see my PWHL Wikipedia page now. Wikipedia is my friend and a lot of the research that I do here. Okay, so let's see here. So as you can see here, Minnesota, New York, like I said, they're playing in their NHL buildings. You see those capacities being a lot higher than the rest of the teams. The other 4 are playing in a little bit smaller buildings. Boston's playing all the way out in Lowell, Massachusetts. Songus Center, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to take a stab and guess here that this is also the home of, the UMass Lowell Riverhawks of college hockey. That is where the Fleet are playing. Let's see here. Okay, Montreal's playing at Place Bell. If I remember this right, being in Laval, I want to say this is the home of, and I can't remember their name right now, but there is a minor league team in Laval that I want to say play AHL hockey. I can't remember their name. We're going to find out right now. Laval Rocket. Yep. And that's AHL. So basically a AAA team here. You see what the arena looks like. Looks like a pretty sizable arena. Looks like a nice place to catch a hockey game. And then Ottawa Charge are at TD Place Arena. I believe that they shared this one with the Ottawa 67s. Let's double check that. Yep, Ottawa 67s of the Ontario Hockey League. So this is the home of a junior team. They have like a really unique setup here. You can see this picture is back in the 90s from when the Ottawa Senators used to play there. They played there for 4 seasons before moving into Canadian Tire Center in Kanata. You see like they've got this wall right here, which I've always found interesting when looking at pictures of this arena. Never been before, but yeah, definitely you see here, this is curling going on, but still like you see all these seats on one side and then not a lot of seats here. And then you see these supports up top. I believe that the reason for this, I want to say that this arena is like attached to a Canadian Football League stadium. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Like, look at the exterior of this place. Look, and then there you go. I want to say that that's the stands for the football arena right there. So, or the football stadium, I should say. I mean, these are just. It's a really fascinating architecture here. So I'm really interested in uh, the place here that the Ottawa Charge are playing at. Looks like a cool place to see a hockey game. Um, and then the Toronto Scepters are at Coca-Cola Coliseum. I'm going to guess this is where the Marlies are playing as well. Yep, that's correct. Um, Toronto Marlies are in the AHL. And then, of course, with I haven't really been talking much about them, but with all these PWHL teams and these minor league arenas, of course, they are all in their second season. All 6 of these teams here are brand new or relatively new, of course, with their second year of existence. So, like, looking at this arena, I'm like, this one looks a little bit smaller than some of the other ones. Might be more similar in size to the arena in Lowell. I mean, we can get an answer to that right now. So yeah. Okay, so actually a little bit bigger than the one in Lowell. So Lowell is the smallest one in the league by far, only seats 6,000. Minnesota and New York are sort of the outliers. And then Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, to an extent, like those are your middle of the road as far as capacity in these home arenas go. Excuse me. And yeah, I find that interesting. Like this, you've got a lot of variety in where these teams are playing, and I am curious, sort of like how these teams are drawing. Um, but yeah, so there's a little bit about some of these teams. So here, I always like looking at maps like this, seeing where the league distribution is at. So vast majority of the league here is in the eastern part of the United States. The first thing I notice is that the Minnesota Frost sort of seem like an outlier here. I mean, they're like way out here compared to the next farthest west team being Toronto. I mean, you're talking all these teams here being either in the eastern United States or in eastern Ontario, east and southern Ontario, or of course in Quebec for Montreal, of course. So, but definitely southeastern Canada and northeastern United States, and then of course the outlier here in Minnesota. And then my hope, I'm hovering over it here, my hope is we get a team here in Detroit. I feel like that would be nice for Minnesota to have a team that's a little bit closer. It would just be a little bit nice, a little bit nice to see that. But yeah, so definitely feel like I need to be watching some more PWHL games at some point. That would be, I think that would be very important for me to give you a better look at what's going on with these teams. But yeah, so there's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about as far as the PWHL goes, just a little bit of an introduction to what I know. And then there's a lot for me to still learn. So if anybody was ever looking back on this stream and they're like, man, you've got a lot to learn, here's where I'd start. I'm more than happy to hear comments about what you think I should learn. Like, who's your favorite player? Is there anybody whose highlights in particular I should be watching? Any team that you particularly enjoy? I know tomorrow the PWHL game is between New York and Minnesota. I probably would be rooting for Minnesota in that matchup. Like I said, I enjoyed watching them play last championship round. And it was pretty cool today. They shared on their social media that the Detroit Tigers invited them out, and they went and took some pictures outside Comerica Park with some of those sweet Detroit Tigers jerseys on. So that was really, really cool. So yeah, let me know if you have a favorite player, favorite team, if there's somebody that I should be checking out. And I will definitely give it a look. As far as what else this stream is going to be, I can already feel my throat being mad at me for talking this much. I probably shouldn't go on too much longer here tonight. But I do want to give you a little bit of a peek ahead to what I've got planned here. In a couple weeks, I don't know if I'm going to reveal everything just yet right now, but in a couple weeks, let me pull up a map for you guys real quickly. My maps. We're gonna pull up one of my favorite things. If you yourself are a traveler, I would really recommend getting the well, you don't have to get anything, but checking out My Maps through Google. I really enjoy My Maps because this is a great way to document the places you've been and or the places that you want to go. So I'm going to share this tab here. So this is my map of pretty much every venue that has been featured on this channel so far. You can see as I'm scrolling through here, all the places, it sort of highlights them. And I've gone in and put the logo of the home team I was seeing, or in some cases, the event that was going on. So like, for example, here, you got a cluster here in Southern California. This is from my trip back in November where flew out to San Diego, stayed with my buddy Elliot, who goes to UC San Diego, caught a UC San Diego game, drove up to the LA Metro, caught 2 NHL games at the Anaheim Ducks, the LA Kings, and then caught an LA Clippers game at the brand new Intuit Dome. Got all those here on the map. I think that's a lot of fun. And then as far as a neutral game goes, I'll go back to my first ever trip that I did on the channel here. And, you've got like 4 different venues here. One of them being the NCAA Frozen Four. So I just threw an NCAA logo in there to give you a little idea of what I'm doing. So anyway, we'll scroll back out here. And I just want to be on the map here as I'm talking about some of my future plans. So in about approximately 2 weeks from Tuesday, I have a plan going to be back on the road with the Explosive Lettuce as long as I am back to full health and everything's all good with my car and everything like that. My plan was to go to the PWHL game tomorrow and that fell through, so I cannot guarantee anything. But as of right now, plans are about 2 weeks from now. If you're looking at this map in front of you right here, I plan on catching 3 games in the span of 3 days across 3 different leagues. 2 of them, I'll give you a hint here. Going to see an NHL game, an NBA game, and then a AAA minor league baseball game. And what excites me so much about this is that we're back to the time of year where it's possible to do all of those things in 3 days. It's so exciting. Baseball is coming back. Hope to catch a lot of ball games this summer. I love going to new baseball stadiums. So keep an eye out for that. If you're looking at this map here, I'll give you a little bit of a hint. These games are going to be taking place in states that have not appeared on this channel yet. And they are a little bit farther out. I mean, I wouldn't call it like 30-hour drive away or anything like that. But you can see there is definitely, traveling is expensive. And so a lot of these videos here, I will never apologize for it, but you see definitely a very, very Midwestern cluster here. These 3 videos that I have planned, one of them you might call Midwest. I might as well. The other 2, definitely not Midwest. Definitely not Midwest. So giving you a little bit of a tease there of what I have planned in a few weeks. Should be a lot of fun. So excited to get some new places on the channel and share them with all of you. Then what else? There's another thing I want to talk about real quickly before I get going here. I have plans in just under 2 weeks from now. So just before that trip that I was talking about, I plan to be on the Baseball Bucket List podcast. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully I have a bottle of Powerade next to me. I don't have it next to me right now. I probably should with all the yapping I'm doing. But it should be a lot of fun. Really excited about that. I haven't listened to any episodes yet. I'm going to try and listen to 1 or 2 of them before I go on that podcast. So if you want to join me in that, get a little bit of a taste of what they're doing over there at Baseball Bucket List. It sounds like they're just having on people who have been to a decent amount of different baseball stadiums and ballparks, and just like me, just like probably you, if you're a baseball fan, just really passionate about chasing ballparks And I think that's awesome. I mean, there is such beauty to me in chasing ballparks, any sport really, but especially baseball. That's where this love for stadium chasing started for me. And I'm so excited to go be a part of a podcast for an episode that celebrates that. I would like to think I'm an ideal candidate for it. And I'm going to definitely talk about this channel here and some of the places I've seen in the past year, but also going to talk a little bit more about how I got into it, which way predates my YouTube channel. So going to be a lot of fun. And if you enjoy my content here on Traveling Sports Nerd, keep an eye out for that episode coming out on Baseball Bucket List. I'm not sure how far ahead it'll be when it comes out versus when we record, but recording it in a couple weeks, and I'm really, really excited about it. So that's another thing to look out for as far as Traveling Sports Nerd goes. And then, yeah, let's see here. So been live streaming about 25. I talked about maybe doing a quiz. Let's see here. Let's do one quiz tonight. Why not? We're gonna tonight. We'll do a sports related one. Let's look up and see what kind of one. I already did the all major North American pro sports teams one. I have that video up on the channel. Let's see here. Which ones do we want to do tonight? Let's do college sports logos quiz number 1. We'll do something simple tonight. That's a pretty familiar logo. I might be able to get that one. Probably my fastest time is 38 seconds, and I've done this one before. All right. I think I can get all of these, but let's just do it. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. And 3, 2, 1, go. All right. We got Michigan, BYU, Oregon, USC, Indiana, Temple, North Carolina, Syracuse, Georgia, Notre Dame, Rutgers, Harvard, Nebraska, Arizona, Tennessee. Now I got to scroll. Auburn, Hawaii, Washington, Texas Tech, Purdue. There we go. So yeah, that one's not too hard for me. Excuse me. Let's take a look here. Like I said, I'm still sick. If you were joining in at the end here, I'm recovering from a bug here. I got the flu. Michigan, 98% correct. Love to see that, but also not surprised because, it's the first one that shows up on the quiz. Yeah, Temple being the hardest one doesn't surprise me a whole lot. I feel like Temple and Harvard. Let's see here. Is Harvard actually no? Harvard's pretty far up there. I guess people are going to know the Harvard logo, regardless of whatever they're doing like that. I think that's fair. But then, some of these teams lower, like, okay, like Rutgers, Hawaii. Yeah, okay, I can see that. I feel like your Hawaii, your Temple, maybe your BYU, like you might need to be like just a little bit below surface level of knowing big brands in college football or college basketball, what have you. And even then, BYU, like I'm in my 20s, so don't get on me too much. But like, yeah, like BYU, I feel like was winning national championships in the 80s, so that's not even that unfair to them. But like Temple and Hawaii, I feel like, yeah, okay, I could forgive you if you don't really know those right away. But otherwise, and Harvard, of course, but people know that Harvard logo way outside of college athletics. That goes more into the field of academia. But all these other logos, like if you've got like a baseline knowledge of your college sports, I mean, these are all power programs essentially, or part of power conferences, I should say. So you're going to want to know these, but yeah, so there's at least one quiz that I can check off that I did partake in a quiz here. Let's see here, man. Let's do this one. Let's do one more. Let's do most popular high school sports. Okay. Apparently I've done this before. It says I got 5 out of 5. I don't know if I'm going to get all these. I'll be completely honest. I don't know if I'm going to get all of them. I guess I might have in the past. Let's see. Let's give it a try. All right, we're going to give it a start. So obviously, like football is going to be huge. Basketball, that's got to be the top 2. Volleyball, I would guess, pretty popular. Yep. Softball, baseball, hockey, I would guess, and field hockey. Oh, so Ice hockey? Oh, okay. Track, it's got to be, yeah. Track, tennis, that's got to be up there. Golf. Um, what are the kids playing? I said baseball, yeah. Oh, soccer, duh. Do, do, do. Does cross country count as something other than? Okay, that's different than track and field. Good to know. What else are they playing? Swim, like swimming and diving. Yep, that's what I was thinking. What else here? Ooh, so we got a sport here that a lot less. Oh, how about lacrosse? I feel like, yep, the kids are playing lacrosse. Only got one more girls sport here and one more guys sport. Shoot. What other sports are there? So we got volleyball, we got lacrosse. Um, uh, there's no way that like archery is one of them, right? No. Oh, gymnastics, maybe. You think dance would count or cheer? Cheer, okay. Competitive spirit squads. All right, I need one more. Man, more popular than cross country. Bowling? There's no way, right? No. Not hockey. So we got baseball. There's no shot it's rugby. Yeah, no shot. Volleyball, basketball. Man, what's a sport that only the fellas are playing? So baseball, basketball, soccer, track and field, football. We got lacrosse. Oh man, this is gonna eat me up. We got tennis. We got golf. Oh, is it wrestling? It's got to be wrestling. Yes, got it. I'm not a big wrestling guy, so it just didn't come to my mind. But as soon as I thought of it, I'm like, oh, duh. Of course, wrestling's a big thing. All right, let's see here. So boys rank and girls rank. So yeah, I feel like there's some people out there who would be like, oh, cheer is not a sport, and which personally I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like cheer when you're just in the sake of doing it, like for a team. I don't know if I would call that a sport. Maybe I would, but if it's in like a cheer competition, then like, yeah, I'm fine to call that a sport. Why would I call that not a sport, but gymnastics is a sport? Like I'm cool with that. So I like competitive spirit squads. And then cross country. Yeah, I feel like people not getting that would just be, you feel like that would be covered in track and field, which I don't know. I never partook in athletics. So maybe that is a thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, football, basketball, soccer dominating. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, even like ice hockey not being up there, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, obviously ice hockey is not everywhere in the United States in general. And even here in my hometown, Metro Detroit, teams are consolidating like crazy. I mean, my high school, when I was there, this is only like, I don't know, like 6-7 years ago. They had their own team for the high school. Now they don't even compete under their own high school name. They compete for a team that selects from like 5 or 6 different high schools. So even in hockey crazy Metro Detroit, which mind you, of course, we have so many club teams that are not school affiliated and like travel teams and AAA team. Like, I understand why high school hockey, that's what I'm trying to say. I understand why that one didn't crack the top 10. But soccer and then basketball, football, I mean, football is king in this country, not just when it comes to the NFL, but, I don't talk about it much, but yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how football is head and shoulders above pretty much everything else when it comes to popularity and also just like small towns and everything. It dominates the local area, the local population. So not surprised by this order here in the slightest. But yeah, so we went for about 35 minutes, and I'll probably have like a minute or so of outro here. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, or if you come back to this, I really do appreciate it. I'm bummed out to not be going to the hockey game tomorrow. I'll have to see if it's streaming anywhere. And I want to say PWHL games, they put them up on like YouTube or something. So I'll have to check that out and see if I can watch the game on YouTube tomorrow. At least be able to watch and support from home. But if you are in the Metro Detroit area and you see this and you're feeling healthy, go to the game tomorrow. Go support it. Show that Detroit supports women's hockey and women's sports. I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm very excited about Michigan basketball making the men's Big Ten tournament championship game tomorrow. Kind of a shocker considering how god awful the past couple of weeks have been for Michigan basketball. So really excited for them. Really exciting finish today against Maryland. And now they got a chance after only having 8 wins last season. They now have a 1-2 chance of bringing home a banner and a trophy to Ann Arbor tomorrow. So big game tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be checking that out as well. So check that out. Make sure to root on the Maize and Blue if you root on the Traveling Sports Nerd. And yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you as always for supporting the channel, and make sure you're sharing this with your friends if any of them are interested in sports and you think they might want to see a sports vlog of a place. Make sure to share it with them. If you don't like these videos, make sure you're sharing them with your enemies. That's totally cool with me too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I do hope to have that Michigan basketball sports vlog out on Wednesday. So get another sports vlog out. Maybe potentially I'll go to a game this week. If so, it would probably be like another college game, maybe college baseball. Try and get that up on the channel the following week. And then after that, that'll be my trip to see a few games of the NHL, NBA, and minor league baseball variety. So always trying to make sure I'm giving you new content here on this channel and new stadiums and new experiences. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and I will see you next time.